Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of my palette collection, eyeshadow palettes. This is all my drugstore, high street or budget ones. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll link it down below, but it is all my upmarket, high-end brands of palettes that I've got. I'm going to get straight into this one because I have got many more drugstore ones as I do have high-end ones. So the first one I'm going to start with is, well, I'll start with a few that I've all got from the same brand. So these are all from Makeup Revolution. The first one is the Iconic Pro 2 palette. This is meant to be a dupe for the Lorac Pro palettes, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Packaging wise, for a very, very inexpensive palette, it's really, really sleek looking. It's nice and slim. It feels nice and secure in terms of travel. This costs around $6.99, and it's got a huge big mirror, which is, I said in my last video, one of my favourite things about palettes is when they have a big mirror, so you don't have to worry about taking any other mirror with you if you're travelling. It does also have a makeup brush in with it. It's alright, it's not the best quality one. I don't tend to use it much, but it will do if you're sort of forgotten to take any brushes with you. And it has 16 shades, I think. Yeah, 16 shades, so for the price, bargain. The colours are all very, very similar to the ones you get in the Lorac. Formula-wise, I haven't got the other one, so I can't make a comparison, but I think for the price it's amazing. I've got this one actually all on my lids today, and really, really blendable, reasonably well pigmented, a little bit of fallout but not too much, so overall I love it. One of the things I don't like about it is it comes with this cellophane sheet that you put over the top, which again you probably don't need to keep, but I like to keep it to know what the colours are called, but it's a bit irritating taking that out every time. Anyway, so colours that I love, one of them is this one. It's a really peachy toned matte colour on my middle finger there, and that's called Neutral, as in N-E-W-T-R-A-L. Neutral, obviously. I also love this plum colour. This one is called One Way. It's a matte shade, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous dark plum colour. And as for the shimmers, you're going to notice a similar theme in this one as you did to my last video when it comes to shimmers. I really love my gold, bronzy, champagne, pinky coloured shimmers. So this is going to be the same, and this is called Awaken. So nice and shimmery, goldy, champagne-y colour, as you can see. A little bit more pink in it than comes across in that finger swatch, but gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Definitely would recommend that if you like a neutral palette with a little bit of option to do something smoky or a bit more dramatic and you're on a bit of a budget. That one's gorgeous. The next two from Makeup Revolution are actually ones that I got for free when I got a gift with purchase when they did their birthday promotion. And the first one is called the I Am Naked palette. It's from their I Heart Makeup collection, and it comes with 6 eyeshadows and a lipstick. So the idea of this is that you can just take this away and not have to take much else with you in terms of makeup. As it happens, the packaging's really good in terms of how sturdy it is and how compact it is, and the way that the lipstick slots in there. I don't like this lipstick though, it's just personal preference, but it's a nude, a really, really brown coloured nude that doesn't suit me. Shadows though are gorgeous, as you can see. All neutral colours, 3 mattes, 3 shimmers, the kind of colours that I would definitely wear every day, but then sort of add a little bit more smoke to it to make it into an evening look. Just to show you a couple of them on here, I'll show you the 3 shimmers. They are not as creamy and as buttery and as blendable as the high-end ones that I've got, but as you can see they're really, really pigmented, and a lot of the colours are very similar to some that I've shown you in my previous high-end video. The makeup brush that comes with it though is pants. It's one of these rubbish little ones, so I don't know why that's even in there. I'll probably throw that away. But as a little palette for how expensive it is, which I think is about $4.99, that's pretty decent if you're looking for just a little neutral one that you can take away with you somewhere. The other one I got for free, I showed you this in a haul, it's the Go to the City palette. I've mentioned the packaging before, it's not my favourite. It's difficult to store because it's round. I don't like the see-through bit here, it makes it look a bit cheap. But it is only very inexpensive, these are $3.99 at the moment. And not only do you get all the shadows around the edge, you get a highlighter in the middle and 2 bright blushes. These blushes look really, really bright on camera. But I have tried them now, and with a little bit of blending they don't come off quite as dramatic, but to be honest they're probably not ones I'm going to be using very much. But the highlighter is lovely and all the shades are lovely. They're all quite shimmery, but there's a couple that are quite different that are nice to use for a smoky eye, particularly these 2 green ones. As you can see there's a really dark forest green and a sort of more primary green. Green isn't even a primary colour, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. So I said this before, but that probably isn't one that I would have bought if I hadn't got it for free, but it is still one that I'm getting use out of nevertheless. So for the price, again, I think that's pretty decent. Another really inexpensive one that has really impressed me is the NYC Individual Eyes palette. You can get these in Superdrug. These cost about $3.99. Again, the packaging is pretty uninspiring because it's got the see-through lid here, just standard cheap plastic packaging. But in terms of the actual shadows, they're brilliant. They design them for different coloured eyes. This one's called Smoky Greens, not because it is green, but because it's meant to be ones that bring out green eyes more. So that's why they're all purple shades. These, oh no, other side. These down the side are meant to be primers, but I don't find them very good, so I don't really use those. But the actual shades are all gorgeous. They're really pigmented and they do last really well. I actually did my own makeup for my friend's wedding and I used this palette. Just with a couple from the Stila palette, I think, and it lasted all day with an eye primer underneath. You can see they're pretty pigmented and they're gorgeous colours as well, so I do love that one. This is one I featured on my channel before. I did a first impressions of this with a couple of other collection products, so I will link that as well. So it's the collection Little Mix All About Eyes palette. Tiny little compact palette, so really good for travel. It's only £3.19, so really, really inexpensive, and you get 6 shadows for that. Again, they're all quite shimmery, so if you're into your mattes, it's not going to be one that you're going to love. It comes with a little brush, which again is one of the rubbish ones, so I wouldn't recommend the brush. There's no mirror on it, so that's one downside, but for £3 you get these shadows, which I think are all really gorgeous for neutral looks. I was so surprised at how good quality they are. Again, pretty creamy, pretty smooth to apply, last really well. A little bit of creasing towards the end of the day, but I didn't mind for the price, and nice and blendable. And as you can see there, it contains some of my most favourite colours, which are sort of rose goldy, bronzy browns, all with a bit of shimmer in, so they're lovely. The next one is the most expensive of the drugstore ones that I've owned, but I was lucky enough to win it in a giveaway, and it's the L'Oreal La Palette Nude. This costs $14.99, so as you can see, it's a lot more expensive than the others I've mentioned in this video, but still a lot cheaper than everything in the high-end video. For that price, you get 10 shadows, and I think the packaging is brilliant because it looks really sleek. It's really, really tiny, really, really slim. You can definitely use this for travel, but nevertheless, you've got decent sized shadows and a decent sized mirror in there as well. It also comes with a brush. Again, the brush isn't one of my favourites. It's got one end which is a nice soft fluffy brush, but the other end is one of those foamy applicators, which I don't like. But anyway, the most important thing about this is the actual shadows. There's a nice range of shimmer and matte, a nice range of really, really neutral, up to colours that are still neutral in their colour, but they're nice deep tones so that you can add a bit more drama to your eyes. I love, same old shades that I love. This pink shimmery one is absolutely gorgeous in the middle. I don't think these ones have names actually, so I can't tell you what that's called, but that's in the middle of the palette. Next to it is a really gorgeous brown, which is matte, which you could use for your crease shade, or also to make something a bit more smoky if it's quite light already. And then there's this gorgeous plum colour at the end, which is quite shimmery, but nice to add in the crease or in the outer corner if you want to make something a bit more dramatic. So I do really like that one, and I get a lot of wear out of that one. I do have this palette, which I'll briefly mention. I don't know what any of the brands or the shades of the actual shadows are in it, because it's one that I've made up myself. I got this, I got some shadows in like a Christmas gift set once, and then I bought this on eBay to put it in. So I mentioned that in my favourites, so I'll link it below if you want to know more about that. And finally, the first palette I ever bought. So in my first collection video, I said that I hadn't bought a palette at all ever until 18 months ago, and this is the first one that started off my obsession with the collection, and it's from MUA. It was a recommendation from someone else on YouTube if I was looking for a palette but didn't want to spend too much money, and it's their smoking palette. So this costs about $5.99, and it contains really good sized shadows. It's quite, as you can see, they're pretty big compared to all the other ones I've been showing you. And again, a mixture of shimmer, only a couple of mattes really. It did come with a brush, but again, it wasn't a very good brush, so I've got rid of that, and there is no mirror. But nevertheless, it's a decent one. What I would say is, if you are new to makeup or new to palettes and you don't want to spend too much money, or just getting into palettes and want to try something, then this is a decent one to try for your first one. But I don't get much use out of it anymore, because the colours in it, I've got better versions of these colours in some of my other palettes now. But when I did used to use it, the main ones that I used to use were this mid-toned brown shimmer, which is a lovely taupey brown, and again this plummy purple colour. So as you can see, really pigmented again, but they're not quite as soft, not quite as blendable as some of the other shadows in my palette collection. So that's everything. I feel like I've been talking at the speed of light to make sure this video wasn't too long, but hopefully it's been helpful. Hopefully you've seen some palettes that maybe you are looking to buy and my opinions on them will help you. If you have any questions, then please write them down below. Don't forget to thumbs up the video if you have enjoyed it and subscribe for weekly videos. I'll see you next time. Bye.